Yay! So surprise!
We have a special guest today.
Yeah.
Thank you for you invite me.
Yeah.
Thanks for your giving me chance to join with you.
For sure.
Appreciate.
Talk to that. Go for it.
Yeah.
So this is Hoosain, and we wanted to have Hoosain on one of our episodes because anybody who works with us in the contracting or any of the buying of the houses, everyone knows we talk about Hoosain all the time. So
Even our investors lots of them have heard of Hoosain.
yeah, because they were like, it's a Hoosain house, and they're like, what's this? And we're like, it's fine. But we had talked about doing the Epic Hour, and Hoosain had mentioned that he wanted to be on one. So we were like, okay. So what he didn't know is that he's going to be on it today. So Alisa had arranged to have Hoosain here, and we were supposed to meet at 11:45 so that everybody was ready. Well, we got a phone call an hour ago that Hoosain was already at the house, and he brought his contractor because he thought he was going to get in big shit from us because he didn't know why we were meeting at this house that he'd already finished. So we wanted to surprise him so that he couldn't get nervous or not show up for this episode of the Epic Hour. So this is Hoosain, totally on the spot, but it's going to be great. And so I wanted to, so generally Alisa and Hoosain get to see each other more often because they're the ones buying houses and negotiating the renos and all that stuff. I do more on the investor side, so I generally don't go in the field as much. But back in the day, before I left to the States, I used to do all the acquisitions, and so Hoosain and I saw each other all the time. So some people have heard this before and some people don't, but whenever Hoosain calls or I see him, I'm always like, Hoosain! And then he usually says,
Alisa! Rochelle!
and he generally mixes us up all the time.
Yeah.
So we always say if you get one of us, you get the other. So it's okay, pretty interchangeable. But yeah, so Hoosain is here and we're gonna ask questions because this week's episode is all about working with contractors and building relationships. And so Hoosain is basically our #1 contractor that we work with, and it's all volume based. So do we want to peel back to the beginning and find out how did we first meet?
Absolutely. And you might as well start because you two met first.
Yeah. So originally we met Hoosain because I was driving on 20th Street and there was a house for sale sign, and it was literally like a house, and it was like for sale by owner, and it had a phone number. So this is back in the day when Alisa and I were taking the Rich Dad real estate investing courses. So we didn't have any money, but what we were taught was call every person that has a house for sale and ask them if they would hold the mortgage for you. Because if you're starting with no money, then how do you get houses? You work with other people's money. So I called the number. And it was funny because I've been looking at this house for about a year. And again, I could have went full title, find out who owned it, blah, blah, blah. I didn't because we were just busy doing other things. So I ended up calling this guy and I'm like, hi. Hoosain answers. And I'm like, would you consider selling your property, but you be the bank? You hold the mortgage? And he's like, no, not on this one, but I have another one. I'm like, oh, okay. What do you have? And this is where we first met.
Yes.
And yeah. And then so for there, right? We always ask people, we're all about taking action, right? So who cares if you hear no? Whatever, move on. The second is you have to be open-minded because you never know what might come up. So thankfully, Hoosain is very open-minded, and he was like, who's this? I don't know.
He has to be. He works with us.
When you first got that phone call from me, I don't know if you remember it specifically, but what were your thoughts on receiving it?
No, like the things is here, when I met with them first, then I thought it's like one house I have new. Then that time I don't have big connection and big network. Just they called me and I said, why not we try to do some business together and we'll see how it's gonna be going on, right? So that's that. Based on that, I decide I'll do the one business with them and see how they are. So when I start business with them, I realize, and I'm slowly, I'm very close to them, and I do lots of business one by one.
But back up. Let's talk about that first deal.
Yeah, so that's I met them and I told them, yes, I'm agree to do that, and they make the contract and everything, and I see the all contract and everything writing, and I see that it's very reasonable, and house is my name, there's no risks, no nothing wrong, And I said, why not I try one time and see. And since the day I dealings with them, and they are very reasonable, and they have I like them one things, they have integrity, like which is like very listen. Sometimes I bring the customer, and if they're going to do the business with them direct, they don't go that one. That's I impressed me. Which is like all the time, my guys were checking with me, and they said no, they stopped them. Yes, I'm really appreciate them. Otherwise, like I'm behind them because some people always take over.
So let's
Yes.
go back
Yeah.
1 second. If any of you guys are having a hard time understanding, we have a joke with Hoosain. His English is getting worked on, but sometimes he talks really fast and sometimes we lose people. So I'll just go back 1 step and talk about that first deal we did. So when Hoosain said, I have this other house, what it was a house he owned in his personal name, and you and your family used to live there,
Yes,
right? It was
yes.
half a duplex.
Yes.
And so he was renting it at that point in time. And that's when the market had really changed from a really good renter's market to a little bit of a softer renter's market. It was harder to rent a good place. And this house was in very good shape. And so we had approached him and said, okay, would you do a rent to own on that property? And so that's the contract that we did. And what was ironic is at that point in time, Alisa was looking for a house and a place to live to move out of her parents' place because yeah, we had already used her mortgage capabilities to buy our first residential real estate rental property because she was going to move into it and then change her mind. But she bought that house with 5% down. And so she already used her own mortgaging capability to buy a rental property. So she didn't have the mortgage capability, but we knew we could come up with the money. And she needed a place. And so this worked out.
And it was
perfectly.
me and my son.
Yeah. So it worked out perfectly because we were able to give Hoosain 5% down. So that's basically how rent to own works. Usually you give money in trust, and then basically we sign in saying we're going to pay this much every single month for rent on the first of every month, and we're going to take over any responsibilities to do with the actual property. So this dealt with what his needs were. He wanted to have a place rented and not ever have to worry about it. He was okay holding the financing because he already had the financing. So that's where the win-win side came into play.
And how many phone calls did you get when we lived there?
Nothing.
There you go.
Exactly. And what's interesting is when we did that, and this was back in like 2013, I think.
Oh yeah, a long time
It's
ago.
like back in the beginning.
First house in your
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
This is the first one.
Yeah. And so from there, well, it was the second because we had Alisa owned her rental property.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, but that's the one where we were like, okay, yeah, first rental. So for that, we were like, let's make sense of whatever the situation is going to be. And so when we did the rent to own, we wanted to make it fair for Hoosain. So we had a pre-negotiated sale price. So we were supposed to buy it for a set amount of money. What's interesting is the market had gotten soft here, and it was a higher priced house in a decent neighborhood, whatever. But when it came time 2 years later to buy it, the market had actually gone so soft that the valuation wasn't there. So we couldn't buy it. So we went back to Hoosain, and again, by then we'd done a couple more deals together. And we said, hey, would you consider holding this for another 2 years for us? And then we'll, again, same contracts and everything. And he said, well, I would, but I need more money because I have too much money tied up in this property. So we came up with another 5%. So now we've got 10% into that property. We just, since Alisa has already moved on and she's moved somewhere else from now, we actually put it into our rental property. So we still have that deal. It's still existing because the property value hasn't come back up to what we have negotiated to buy it back from him. But it just goes to show that if you're working with people who have integrity and are willing to be reasonable, you can work through a lot of different ups and downs in the market. But it just comes down to being fair and negotiating. And so that's kind of that whole deal. And then from there, this is what Hoosain was saying, we've started doing more deals. I'll let you continue.
Well, and the other part I expand on for Hoosain was he was talking there about how we've done business for a long time, and the integrity part is even when people try to circumvent him or come behind his back or they break away or whatever the case may be, my answer is always the same. Did you talk to Hoosain? Because I'm not interested. This relationship and the products that we produce as being a team are phenomenal. And no amount of someone trying to come in and undercut is worth that. And I think that's very valuable because a lot of people don't do things that way.
Yeah, that's right. So everybody tried to go the direct, but you know.
No,
That's
no.
right.
And
I
we've
like that one very much.
Well, and we've always said that since the beginning,
Yes,
right?
yes.
We said any time, and this goes to any referral partners, this goes to anybody who brings us a private lead. Yeah, whoever gave us the source for that lead generation first is the person that gets paid for that lead, right?
Yes.
We don't cut people out because what's the point? If you're thinking so short-sighted, you're going to lose relationships and you're going to always lose in the end. And money is not the motivating factor for us. It is coming down to win-win relationships, win-win scenarios, and making sure that there's longevity there. And so that has been why our partnership has flourished so much over the years.
So my main concern about them is the fact since I dealings with them since the day, like almost since the 2012 or 13 I dealings with them. So since the day I didn't see one day they didn't change their word. Whatever they said, they do that way, right? Which is another impressive for me. That's the reason, like I'm going continue with them and anything they offer me, I'm love to get that opportunity because their word and their action, everything is like the same way. Because I'm dealing with them lots like since 2011 or 12, like I'm 8 years. So 8 years I'm dealing with them, and I have very good relations since the year 2012 to now, and I have never ever fighting, never argue, never anything, right?
So,
Which
They
is
just
like
get to take shit once in a while.
that's normal. That's like I enjoy that. They love me
He's a
so
sucker
much.
for punishment, apparently.
They love me so much, and I love them so much. And we are working in like funny things, and whatever we do, we don't have anything in our mind. Our heart is clean.
Yeah.
That's
So
okay.
what is interesting about this as well is it's been quite a journey, right? Because again, anybody who has seen us from the beginning, we flipped one house in year one, and now we're controlling over $100 million worth of residential real estate. We're almost cresting 500 properties, not a bad growth. But what is so interesting is when we first started working together, you and Musa had how many houses?
I have me and
This
Musa.
was in 2012.
Yes, 2012 we have 30 houses.
So they had 30 houses. I think the next year you guys were up to 50.
Yeah, we have almost 200 houses now.
Now,
Yeah.
but what's interesting though is there was a point there where during this partnership or like working together, yeah. So Hoosain used to build houses.
Yes.
That was your number one thing,
Yes.
right? Because the market was hot
Yes.
and you could be selling these houses. It made sense to build, right?
Yeah.
Then of course things change with like permitting and costs to build,
Yeah.
right? The market.
Materials didn't drop.
Materials, yeah. So there's reasons where pivoting and adapting would make sense. But what is interesting is we were growing our business, doubling every year, okay? And so I think it was in year 3 or 4 where you guys had 75 properties and we were over 100.
Yeah.
And Hoosain came to us and said, what the hell are you doing? He was like, how did you guys outpace us?
Yeah.
And basically you have more houses than us now and control of more houses. And like, this doesn't make any sense. And so we went back and said, you guys are being too cheap. You won't hire people.
Mhm.
And by that,
Yeah.
and by that time we had already had, I think, a staff of 40. Yeah. And so okay. So I can't remember the exact correlation, but we hired people because we needed to delegate and outsource, and using other people's money. And so that's how we were able to keep growing at an exponential rate. And it was so funny because I remember having that conversation with you and you were like, But since then,
Yeah.
now going fast forwarding, we've changed and pivoted how our working relationship works. Because there was a new build you had built, and it was on 22nd Street, and we actually bought it right into the hassle-free landlord program because he was a distressed owner on that property, and we were like, well, it's 2 suites, it's built properly. It was just overly done for that neighborhood.
He has high-end taste, and that's great. It just doesn't work in the hood.
Yeah,
We
so
have this education now, right?
Yeah.
and so we were like, what you doing, bud? And anyway, so we were like, you don't need fancy. It just needs to be very functional. So again, it's been learning on both sides. So at that point in time, he needed out. He's like, I have too much capital wrapped up in here. No one wants this property. Can you guys just buy it? And we ran the numbers. So it made sense for us. It was cash flowing revenue property. And then we were able to do that deal together. And then from there, basically, Hoosain is really great at negotiating and finding deals. Do you want to share a little bit about how you negotiate?
You can continue. That's
Okay. So yeah. So what he was saying, he has very great ways of finding deals. I don't even know how he finds all the private sale leads he finds. And he works with realtors as well on MLS. And there's lots of different ways you can find properties and whatnot. But he would find properties, and then Alisa started, you guys were working together where he would find a property and then Alisa and him would go through it together. And then they would figure out, Alisa would say, if you renovate this property to this, and this specifications, then we'll buy it off of you for this price point. And then from there, Hoosain backtracks the numbers to figure out what he needs to buy it for, what he needs to renovate it for, and then if there's still a profit in there that makes sense for him. And we know when we give that price that when we buy the property, there's still going to be a lift in there to hit our margins for a flip. And so that's been working really well, I think. I don't know if you guys want to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Hoosain.
Yeah, the things is here. However, I almost sell in like more than 60 houses maybe together from this 60 house. Almost I buy and sell and build and different way.
Yeah.
So and I do the some renovation for you as well as a general contractor.
Yeah, that's new this year.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Yeah.
I would say year and a half.
Yeah, 2020 maybe beginning I start.
Yeah.
So then
I did like that this year is 8 for you already.
yeah, so with him
Yeah.
being a general contractor, we're able to take on more projects and then just give the houses over to Hoosain and then him and his team deal with it. And the cool thing is they deal with really big projects that we would have never touched beforehand.
Yeah.
They take on because our crews, we usually like to be in a house for a month, no longer, but his crews, they work longer hours, they have bigger capacity for bigger projects. And so working with him, we're able to take on bigger projects, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really, and how do you find like having your end buyer in place and knowing like when we do our walkthroughs, it's funny because Hoosain, even if it's not even necessarily for us 100%, he still likes me to walk through because there's ideas that we bounce off each other. We're a good soundboard. We'll look at a layout and he may come up with an idea or I'll come up with an idea and it works well. You know, like what the last one we were in was Avenue H there, the 100 block, right? And prime example, that basement. I said, just do 2 bedrooms. What did Hoosain try and do? Yeah, no. And did it work?
Yeah.
No. But regardless though, there's lots of times though we'll design really cool functional layouts for rental properties. And also the type of construction that goes on in them, again, it's very streamlined, right? The products, we're using the same baseboards, we're using the same paint, right? Talk about paint colors, you two.
So usually,
This color.
yeah.
This is Rochelle, so has this one all the time.
Yeah, so usually we'll pick, like we usuually either have a brown house or a gray house, and now we just kind of do, like in Hoosain's house, we just do this grayish color, and it works. It matches with lots of different flooring. We've got the paint color, the baseboards, casings, just like we talked about renovating last week. It's the same concepts. He uses the same kitchen guy. So Hoosain's the one who did the amazing negotiation with the kitchen guy to kind of love deep. Yeah, we love you deep. To blanket us under his negotiation, his price that he negotiated for the flat kitchen price, which is amazing. So let's talk a little bit about negotiating and bulk buying, right? Which is one of the topics we wanted to talk about. So when we go in and talk to any sort of person who's going to supply materials, be it windows, be it kitchens, be it wood or lumber or whatever it might be, we always want to talk about the volume we're going to be buying, right? And what that capacity looks like. And so this guy is the king of negotiating on buying materials. And I have a strategy where I think I know what he does to get the good pricing, but let's talk about what you think you do to get good pricing on things.
No, like the things is here, sometimes if you go the Lowe's, Home Depot, Lona, they have certain period of the time they like to sell and they need to finish their inventory. They need the room to put the new inventory. That time I talked to the manager. I said, you know what? How many pallets you have laminating floor? They say, for example, I'm going to be vinyl block. I like to buy the vinyl block. Then I go the manager direct, who is the general manager, who make the decision. I go with them. I said, you know, how many pallets you have the left vinyl block? He said 20. If I buy 20, how much it's gonna be cost me? Then he give me the price, and I buy all of this, and they know that there's clear ounce inventory is clear out. Then they give me the other buying price. They not make them profit. That's the way I have the warehouse, and Rochelle, Alisa, they have the warehouse. We buy the all like big volume, and we save that one, and we continue the same product and same style because we use that same product. That product we prove ourselves that is very nice and easy to installation and easy to handle with that. Right. So far everything is work with us.
Yeah.
Right. So very good work with us. That's the way I buy the big volume and I save lots of money, which is like nobody can get the regular people who do the 1 or 2, 3 house, they cannot get one because my things is like I have 1 year 30 to 40 house I dealings with like renovation, buy and sell. That's my volume, right? So 30 to 40 house one year. So there's like lots of money you need that for cash to buy an inventory. Some people don't have that money cash money. That's money is cash money is power.
Yeah.
Yes, we take the advantage from. No.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then my other way that I've seen Hoosain negotiate is that he just goes to people and he just says, "How about now? How 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 about now?" And then eventually they're like,
And it works.
and it works. So that's the other
And
way.
he's trained a few others to be like that.
Yeah. So again, there's no wrong or right way. I have no patience for that. And so that's where I'm like, Hoosain, you should go negotiate on that. But it's great. So I love it. So from there, do we have any questions at all? No. If anybody has any questions, I don't know if Hoosain's going to be on the show again, so now's the time.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you guys interact if you have anything, and if not, we'll just keep chatting. So we talked about how we originally met. We talked about what kind of work we do, be it you're bringing your own projects and selling them ready to go to us, or we're hiring you as general contractor. So how many crews do you run right now?
I have 8 group.
8 crews.
Yeah. So that's all. There's multicultural group. There's some is like Philippine, some is like Indian, some is like Canadian. All of this like
Yeah.
mix.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I have 8 group, and
Can I ask for our audience, where are you from?
I'm from Bangladesh.
Look at that smile. He's so proud.
Anyway, so things is here. One thing I tell you, like if someone not dealings with Rochelle and Alisa, they don't know them, and I'm very close to dealings with them 8 years since like 2012 to now. That my 8 years experience, they're awesome. They're very nice. I love them. That's it.
There you go. How many people have contractors who would say that?
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
And then I'm just looking at these things. So some of the questions. Well, these are some questions for us we can talk about.
Yeah.
How often does Epic employ contractors?
All the time. We not only have our own employees, but we have the contractors. And what we have done is kind of negotiate an opportunity for contractors in order to keep our bulk buying high. Other than with Hoosain, the rest of our contractors, Epic buys all the materials. Okay. And that's a good way to protect yourself. Now, because we have an amazing relationship, again, our rules are always flexible within reason. We've had an 8-year relationship. We know Hoosain's not going to steal the product. We know he's going to get the job done. We're good, right? Not saying that about our other contractors, but there just isn't that long-running friendship, right, or business relationship. With that, to protect both the contractors and us is one of the reasons why we buy all the materials, okay? So for people out there that don't know all the laws, very difficult to go after a contractor that screws you, okay? It's not easy at all. Now, one of the ways to tip it in your favor is if you buy the materials and that contractor screws off and takes your materials, that's a game changer because that's theft, okay? Now the police can be involved, now other groups can be involved, so it's a good way to protect yourself, right?
And it's a good way to get contractors too, because then they're not having to outlay more money ahead of time.
Yep.
So generally, if they're just waiting on the labor, they're fine waiting a little bit for their pay so that they can get some work done and then go from there.
And what we do is we have our contractors basically give us their scope, how long, how much. And then what we do is we break that out and we're going to pay them a weekly amount till we get close to the end product. And then there's just a 10,000 for larger projects, 10,000-ish. Pull back. The minute it's done, we release it and we move to the next one, right? Smaller projects, we do the same thing. We just break it up over 1 week or 2 week or however that looks. And they love it.
Well, it's essential. Like that's a big deal because you have overhead from all of your staffs, right?
Yeah.
So your contractors are blowing up your phones. They want to get paid.
Yeah, no, like my things is like, however, I did in like now I starting regular rules. I do that different way before.
Yeah.
Before I do like all money.
Yeah.
And
He fronted
everything.
everything.
And the good things is like what I comfortable. I dealings with mine is like she showed me only the paint color. Other than everything I do my way. And I prove myself whatever I did as a rental property, they are happy and they have that confidence with me, which is like they don't need to come in the site and let's say either I sell them or I get the contract. No matter what, they have that confidence. Hoosain done and call me and go, everything is okay. Almost time is like 95% is done nicely, and 5% here and there. I call Alisa, and she's coming and she show me the very end. Say, Hoosain, I need to leave it here and there. Then I fix it 5%. That's every job is that's normal.
Yeah, basically, I'm in there when we first buy the house, and I don't come back till, like you said, basically till he's 5% from finished.
Yes, there's 5% here and there. She come and fix it.
Yeah, for sure. There might be some like punch list items.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of comments. Thank you guys. So Peter says, how did he start? These are questions for you. How did you start? Did you save money to buy your first house and then reserves to buy another house and then get the bank to fund the additional purchases with rental income in place? Like how did you first start? What was your first start? Like can you share your story? Like when did you first get to Canada? What did that look like? Because I think some people would like to hear your story.
So the thesis is here. I have my personal life, some history. I can share with you. I don't mind for it because everything is free. Right. So I came in from 2006 from Bangladesh. 2006 in January. I arrived.
January in Saskatchewan.
Yeah. No, like I came in like January 2016 in Montreal. Right.
Oh, Montreal.
Montreal. I arrived in Montreal. After I live in that Montreal and they have French language and very hard to learn that one. It's difficult for me to do the business and I'm businessman from back home. And I came in Canada. I tried to do the business in here. That's my first choice. I don't like to come here to work for someone. I like to do my own business. I need to run my own business. Then I came in like Montreal. Then I see it's hard to dealing with the language things. Then 1 year I living there and I'm struggling and I cannot do anything there. Then I come in Ontario. It's 2007.
Lots of our investors are from
Yeah, 2007. I came in Ontario. Then I buy the house in there, and I tried to do the one basement, and I called the contractor for that basement, and they said, like 50,000, 60,000 to finish that basement. And I go to Home Depot, and I see their price is like materials cost only the $15,000, whatever I'm trying to done. And I said 15,000, then 50,000. This is 35,000 just labor, and I'm interested in this business. I say, oh, this is good money. Right? So this is very good money. Why not? I'm just like whatever I do, I just forget about this. I'm gonna go the real estate business. Then I go the Home Depot and I see that they are announcing, say, we can help, you can do, right? That's the what is interests me. Say, how come they can help? I have no experience, right? So then I just buy and I just get land from there, little bit here and there, and I hire the one worker. And I say, can you work for me? And he said $20 per hour. I said, okay, that's fine. And I hired him and I work for him and I do my basement. It's cost me by this time it's like instead of 50,000, I pay him labor 10,000. I buy the materials. It's like 15,000. It's 25,000. It's cost me. Then I learn from there. So okay, this is the game.
So did you have real estate back home in Bangladesh?
Yeah, I do the real estate business in back home.
Okay, so you had that experience.
Yeah, that experience. So that's the way, I say, instead of 50,000, I'm making 25,000 work done. So 25,000 I save. Then I go and I have the one community and I ask them, do you need to do dance any job? As a contractor, I contract from them. And after that, I get the, let's say, first job, I remember $8,000 I contract, and I use that same person $20 hour, and I spend total is $5,000. I make $3,000 there.
There you go.
Right?
So you
like,
wrote yourself into the deal.
yes.
Yeah.
So first time I do like this, and I do the couple of deals. After that, I don't have job because I don't have too much connection there. Right? Then someone told me in Saskatoon is that if I go in Saskatoon, I can sponsor my family. They have nominee program. Then I digging a little bit more about the nominee program and everything. And that time I buy the house in Toronto, and I put a 25% down payment. And I do the basement and everything. I'm behind in $80,000. So minus $80,000, I come from Toronto to Saskatoon. Right? So that's minus.
So how much, you don't have to say this, but he asked if you started with your own money. So you started all with your own money?
No, I just coming here and make money.
You
And
made money,
yeah,
okay.
that's the things is here. So that way,
So in other words, you worked your ass off
yeah,
to make this
80,000 I
work.
minus, and I do the pizza business in here.
Yeah.
Another 100,000 I minus.
Yeah.
Right, so 180,000 I minus, and this from real estate business slowly I do. And another history I forget. When I was in like Toronto, and what should I do? I have no idea. Then I go the agency for working. That agency called me, said, "Do you like to work?" I said yes, and they send me the one factory. Right, that factory, there I go work, and there one general contractor coming. Right, and when I do that, I start my basement before that. Right, so when I get the negotiation with the contractor, that time the contractor said 50,000, and I have no idea about the construction too much because I didn't work physically back home. I work in invest money by say this way. I didn't work physically. Like back home is like I'm the boss, like not in like worker. Right, so here I come and I'm the worker. Right,
You start from the bottom. and work your way
yes,
up.
yes. Then I go I work in factory and I see the one general contractor coming. And his company name is JNS. And I said, I just go there. I said, boss, can you hire me? He said, you have experience. I said, no, I don't have experience. I said, without experience, I don't have time babysitting. I said, please, boss, I work for you 6 months. You don't have to pay anything. Just I work for you. 6 months, you don't have to pay.
So you worked for free to get experience?
No, like I told him.
No, I know, but that's what you did essentially.
Yeah.
You worked for free to gain experience.
No, I didn't work. And I told him I work, and he said he hired me. And when he see my honesty and hardworking, and he said, I will pay you.
You prove yourself.
Yeah, I proved myself. And he.
So you didn't have to work free for very long.
He said like he hired me as a free, and I'm agree to work free. But end of day, he see that my honesty and hardworking, and I struggling, and he loved me so much. End of day, and he said, "Hoosain, don't worry, I see you're a nice person. I'll pay you. Don't worry, I make money, I pay you. I don't cut you up."
Yeah.
That's the way I run it.
Integrity, folks. Pass it on, pay it forward.
Yes, then 6 months I work for him. It's like 9 months, like altogether 9-8 months I work for him, and I work hard, and I get like 9 months I get supervisor in there, right? So after, so from there, and I know the all kinds of work. Like I have something I'm very good with. Some I know how to do that, right? So that's the way I just moved from there to Toronto. Then I opened my own company, ATM General Contracting. So I just copy his one, JMS Contracting. I said ATM General Contracting, right?
You're modeling. It's the #1 way that people start businesses.
So that's the way. And coming in here, and I don't know anybody. I try to get the contract, and I have everything, and nobody can give me the contract. Then I open the visa business because I need to sponsor my family, and I need the job letter. I open the visa business. Then I lose another money. Then I struggling in the real estate line, and I prove in myself. So real estate is good money if you are hardworking and honest and integrity, and your word is keep going like action and word is safe. Never ever you lose the money. Never ever. That's I prove myself.
Yeah. Well, you still need to do good deals.
Yes.
You still need to know.
But my thing is like if someone have no money, I just give the suggestion from this from E.P.I.C life. I give the one things is like very important. Is I give the very important things. If someone have no money, no need to worry about it. You don't need money for business. This is the proof in here. 3 people. You can ask them. We have no money at all. Rochelle, do you have any money when you start the business?
When we started.
Do you have any money when you do the business?
Yeah.
What we have hardworking, we have honesty, we have like struggling.
Yeah.
That's the three things you need. If you are struggle too much, hardworking too much, and honest, no matter what, your will is gonna be going up, no matter what.
And I think you need a growth mindset.
Yes, yes,
Because if you're thinking like, oh,
Yes,
I'm never
no.
gonna get anywhere or whatever,
Yes.
like it's not gonna work, right? So having an open mind.
yes. You need to, let's say everybody have something in here, in the heart. You need to fire up, right? So when you fire up, you said, no matter what I have to do, then God help you to do. That's no matter what. I tell you, this is the challenge in business. In Canada, you don't need money to do the business. For sure, for sure. You need like just fire in inside.
Amen.
Yes. That's the way. I tell you, this is the way everybody can be business people, businessman or businesswoman or big company, no matter what, whatever you are. You can do, no matter what.
Awesome. We have another comment from Nicolette. She says, this is super interesting and very helpful. Clearly, you have a fabulous team. So nice to see this. Great ideas on getting good prices for materials.
Yes, thank
Awesome.
you.
Cool. Do we have any more comments at all? We've got about 20 minutes here. Do you guys want to do a house
Oh,
tour?
yeah, we should do a tour and we can talk about your work and how we figured out this one and mapped out the basement and stuff.
This was a house that Hoosain found.
Yep.
And then how did it work? Did we buy it and then you renovated it, or did
No,
we?
I buy and I did it.
This one he bought and renovated and then we bought for a price after.
Okay. So,
Fixed price.
yeah. So again, they can talk about how you guys come to assessing this. I was in this house before, like it was trashed. It was brutal.
Yeah, this house I tell you about where we're sitting in. And that house especially, I see the market. Same day, I always like
It was
people.
MLS market?
Yeah, MLS market. But the things is here, is my things is like this. I have a brother, is Musa, he's digging in all his computer. And my way, let's say if I go this road in the one day, and this road I don't follow, I go the different road. Then I just see the which house is sign on or something is like private sale or something like this, right? So I don't go like passing like one road is one time, right? I just always I keep it in my mind, say, okay, this road I pass already, why not I see the other road and see what's going on? And whenever I see the sign, some real estate agent, they put the sign, they didn't posting in the market, just they put the sign. If I call them direct, first person, and they are very much interested to work with me, right? So because this is the first person call, and I try to do the reasonable things, and if I see their price is the below market price they're asking for, then I'm talk to them and I tell them. If I see that their price is way high from the market price, I say thank you very much. And no, I don't wasting time. Yeah, that's the way I do. And this house especially I buy same way. I just pass by there. I see the lady. She just try to put the sign in there, and I see my own. I say I'm coming in here, right? And I say this is the just you put it in the market. You put the listing or already in market. She said no, I didn't yet. And I call Umar. So Umar, let's go. And because I try to help Umar, one of my brother.
He's a new
realtor. I just try to help him, and I see that they are asking for 200,000 this house, and because I put it in Umar because I see that this house is legal suite 3-bedroom in the top and 3-bedroom in the up. There's like legal suite 3-bedroom and 3-bedroom 50 lot with the garage. 200 is very good price. Then I know that I don't want to bargain. I just whatever they're asking for, I'm gonna going to be same price. That's the reason I put it down my real estate agent to give him chance to make some money, right? So I just call him and he put the offer same asking price and I buy the 200,000 and I spend in like here is $50,000 renovation and 50,000 I make, right? 300,000 I sell this house to.
So just for perspective, if anybody was going to do a $50,000 renovation on their own, no one's going to do that if they don't have the connections Hoosain has and if they don't have the team that Hoosain has. So even with his workers, you have really good negotiated rates.
Yes.
They're not the standard fair market value. So that's where he's able, pardon me, to keep his guys completely full all the time, get as much work as they want. They're busy, they never have to scramble for work. And then that's the trade-off, right? You're able to keep them busy full time or whatever. So I was gonna say, if somebody else is gonna come in and do the work themselves, they're able to keep costs lower. But if somebody was going to hire that renovation out to somebody, the renovation cost would have been way more than $50,000.
Yes. Because I spend lots of time in myself and I do some work in myself as well. And I'm very hard working. Anything is my contractor is mess up or anything here and there, I'll come myself, I fix because my main key is I know how to do the work. That's my main key. Anybody messed up, I can fix it from there.
Well, look at yesterday. We went,
Yeah.
was it for Whitney Avenue? We show up and I'm like, it's cold in here, Hoosain. Something's going on. The furnace is off. What did you have? You had a thermostat. And I changed it, put it on the wall. Like,
That's like
mostly him, because he
Yeah.
had the guy there with the tools.
So the thing is like any problem, we can fix it. That's the main key.
Yeah.
So we do our own everything. That's the way we save lots of money, and we didn't count it like our time. Basically, we just
Well,
we
and
count in
now-
our time. It's more.
And now, like, we are, like, Hoosain is even going to be doing just straight contracting on some houses that
Yeah.
even Epic has just bought.
Yeah.
You're just starting on Pennygrass there.
Yes.
And that one we bought, and I knew it was a perfect project for you and your teams.
Yes.
And yeah, so I'm excited because again, we're pivoting and adapting. You were like, hey, he asked actually, could I just actually, I now have these teams and I need to balance and keep work always for them because that's how he keeps the wages lower to some degree because he promises to always have work for them. Similar to what we do with our employees.
Yes.
And like we don't lay people off. And we only terminate if they don't fit in, right? And so yeah, again, here he is. He asked. He said, "Is it okay if I did some contracting for you guys on some houses?" I said, "Oh, see, we have lots of houses. No problem. We'll totally work on that too."
Again,
Right?
win-win, right?
Yeah,
We have lots of
win-win.
projects. They've got the capacity to take them on. So why don't you guys do it?
Another
Yeah.
thing is like how is our things. Another good thing is what I realized. Let's say you and Alisa, they're like when we talk about this one, and I have the consider like I have in my mind, I have to make sure they can make some money, and they have some mind in for me. They have to make sure Hussein can make some money.
Absolutely.
That's the very important. Like some people you dealings with them, and they are not thinking about you. They're thinking about their own. And we are working like because we are long run. Because I'm thinking about them, they're thinking about me.
Do we know what it's on?
I want to say this.
We'll look at it.
Okay.
But anyway, in the meantime, why don't you guys do it?
Yeah, sure.
So we gotta go with her and tell her stories. Tell the celebrity stories.
We're gonna go look at the house. We'll start with the bedrooms tour. So, we're saying, again, when we discussed this room, we just basically did the very streamlined concept, right? The baseboard is on every house, and here's one of the things, right? We've now changed the vents are always white, right? That was something we had to go through, right? So think little things like that. And this is where you're always at 5% asking me, what's missing or what needs to be changed or what is great, what's different. So,
Yes, I do.
okay, cool. So you can see here, it's just a nice clean line. Like, for example, cabinets, I very rarely say pull those or anything, I just say clean everything up.
Yeah.
So it's not.
This is like wood, like solid wood. This one is more lasting. Yes, because sometimes I didn't sense, and I asked you, you are okay with that? Because if I put that one, that is like not like solid, right?
Exactly.
So that's like less lasting.
Yes.
This one is more lasting.
Yeah.
That's the good things. Is like sometimes we keep like old door and window and case in some place we keep it, some place we change it. Whatever we need it, whatever is need we did.
Absolutely.
Whatever we no need, we just leave it that one and painting and just keep going. Because rental property.
So, and what about bathrooms, Hussein? What are some of the things in the bathrooms that you can tell me here?
Like whenever I go, always I try to do the toilet, especially toilet, sink, can have change. That people coming and they check always washroom and kitchen. These two things always I try to change.
Yeah.
Almost time I do that, change the kitchen. Kitchen, every house I put a new kitchen and like a new toilet, new sink, and a new bathroom. But some houses now they change.
How do I feel about windows and bathrooms?
Yeah, so especially Alisa, she don't like the window in the bathroom. And whenever I go, I know there are things is like couple of things they don't like. What is that they like? They like every bedroom they like need a light which is very bright, which is three bed three was the three bulb light, right?
Yeah, 3 bulb lights.
Right. And that's the common things.
Yeah.
You need like every room, especially three light in bedroom one, and washroom. Like if it's bathtub area, there is no window. That's common. Couple of things common. I know everything about that. It take long time to explain everything.
No, that's the key. And then tell me about the vanity. Was this just on the shelf, or was this one that you bulk buy?
No, like this one is 24 vanity. Right? They said that this the Black Friday. They put it the sale, right? This one usually they sell like close to $200 or more, but I buy $87 brand new in packet.
There you go.
Right?
That's
So,
negotiating.
and you can go like the Black Friday, you can see that they are flyer. They are $87 they sell. I buy the 15 like this one.
Yeah.
Like whenever I see the sale price, I buy lots.
Yes.
Everything, whatever they have, everything I buy.
Yes.
That's the way I'm shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it works for rental, right? Clean, works good.
So no, like this brand new, there's nothing wrong.
No,
This is the sale price because sometimes they want to bring the customer to the store. Yeah, like and they like to sell clear out. That's the what I buy.
Yeah. And so all 3 of these rooms are good sizes, and did we do windows too? I think you did. Yeah. So also did the windows, right? So that's another area that you know what kind of window.
Yeah, all window I say it's almost done. Window, door, everything I say it's almost done. Whatever I see a little bit old, I change this one because it's like showing a huge difference. If you people come in, they check like window is new, all door is all new, flooring is all new, casing is all new, and painting and brand new fresh painting. That's the one is the old house.
Yeah, and then that's the bulbs and the lights that are talking
Like any house.
We'll go downstairs. Oh, and the kitchen. So we're headed here to this kitchen. So this is our friend Deep's kitchen. It's one of the types of kitchens he can do for us. And as you can see, we're very blessed that Hoosain thought of us to bring in for this opportunity to work with this friend Deep. We really appreciate this opportunity that we can bulk buy kitchens like this.
No, like the things is here, what we do, let's say you have any good price, you inform me.
Yeah.
You give me message, and I have good price, I give you the inform.
Yeah.
That's the way we do that, like giving, sometimes you busy, you didn't see that, and sometimes I'm busy, I didn't see. You have one opportunity, you ask me, and I have any opportunity, I tell you, say, if you like, you can have some opportunity there. If you like, you can take advantage. If you don't like, it's okay, take it easy. Just I give you the message.
Yeah, absolutely. And this has been a great partnership because we're buying on average, we're buying 4 a month at least, and you're probably buying close to that from Deep. So he knows he's got 6 to 8 to 10 kitchens a month alone just from our 2 companies.
I buy like this month almost 15 kitchen.
Oh,
Because this house 2 kitchen.
Yeah.
Right, the 938 there's the 2 kitchen.
Yeah.
And 223 XL there's 2 kitchen. Like almost house I do the legal suite.
Yeah.
And there's almost house is 2 kitchen I need.
That's right.
So that's the reason is Deep is very happy with me.
Yeah.
And we buy lots, and he need us. And we need him.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Head to the basement here. So you really changed the design of this basement.
Yes.
And
Because I wanted 2 bedroom, I make it 3 bedroom.
exactly. So here we just have this is the laundry room, so you can see.
Yeah. Because I tried to do the finish in this floor.
Yeah.
This is the drywall, and Alisa told me don't spend too much money.
No, it's a laundry room.
Laundry room. You just make it like no marine taping, those things. I just
don't need to.
Laundry room.
Yeah.
And I put the for the top separate one, and the for basement is separate one.
And
They have the separate meter as well.
yeah, and there's reasons for that, madness for me, because if you're going to have water problems, it's going to be in your laundry room. That's one of the places, right? So what I said is, well, don't bother finishing it because if a washing machine ever goes, now you just pull the sheet of drywall off and you put it on again, right? Nobody needs a pretty laundry room. They just need it to function. And here, it's literally even plumbed and wired in separately for each suite, right? So pretty cool.
Yeah. So
tell about this area and how you made the rooms and stuff.
this area there was like a washer there room, right?
Mhm.
So that washer there room, this area usually there is a misuse,
Yeah.
that is not usable. Right now, what I did, I take the washer dryer from here,
Mhm.
and then have one room that is non-functional.
Yeah.
Then I just make it a functional work that room, and now I put the two washer dryer room there instead of one in here.
Yeah.
So I make it the small living room in here, and that's a washer dryer room. I shift from here washer dryer room
Yeah.
to go there.
Yeah.
So that's the way like there people can see there is small living room in here, right? And there is a three bedroom, one, two, three bedroom.
It is, yes.
Because like if someone buy this house, like I build this houses like this. If one homeowner buy, they don't have to pay any money from their pocket because based on interest rate, if someone buy this house is less than 350, for example, there is they pay the 20% down payment, and the mortgage is coming $1,200. They get the $1,200 from the three bedroom in the basement.
Right?
That's my concept. I use.
For sure. It's the mortgage offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mortgage.
And then there's another one of the bedrooms. So again, pretty straightforward, nothing fancy. The windows are legal, the people for egress. That's a big one with Hoosain and I. We add windows wherever we need to. Again, functioning bathroom.
Yeah.
You get,
So I do the all room, like,
Yeah.
so
yeah, yeah. You went through and what's another thing that I really appreciate bathrooms? I love when the fan and the light are wired together,
Yeah.
right?
This is your common thing, sir. Our contractor all knows what Alisa like.
Yeah.
And everybody, my contractor, everybody knows your name. Some people they don't know you.
Yeah.
But same thing, like your company people know the
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And my company people they know Alisa and Rochelle. And I said, Alisa don't like it. I said, who's Alisa? I said, you have to know what. I tell you, the Alisa don't like it. That's from Epic Alliance who buy from your like this. And she don't like it because I do the my two choice. Either you don't buy, then I need to put the market. But I make the standard way like you do it.
Yeah.
So I put in the first choice and the second choice is this way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. And then just the proper stuff. So on that one side. And then again, another one of the deep, beautiful kitchens,
Yes,
right?
like this kitchen is make huge difference. Yes. So when I do anything, I make a kitchen that make a huge difference. Anybody coming from here to rent, they get they like husband, wife, whatever. Window is good and the bathroom is good and the kitchen is good. They don't mind to pay $100 more.
That's right.
Compared to the regular price. When they see the garden kitchen, they don't mind to pay the $100. That's because people look at like what they like. People that if you say you don't just make the city kitchen in here, then people renting like $300. Now they can rent like $1,000. That's
Yes.
minimum for the example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then this room, I think this room, is this room to even have
There was a door, I block it. Yeah, I block it
Yes.
because I want to make a bedroom. There's three bedroom. I don't need to door in here.
Exactly. I think discuss that.
Yes.
And then on the side, this doesn't make sense to leave that door there.
Yes.
Cool. Right. So that's basically it for there, folks. That's a tour of one of the houses that Hoosain has done an awesome job for us with, and we appreciate his hard work and his team's hard work. And I think that's something people need to keep in mind with relationships and contractors. That again, you don't go greedy. Make sure everybody's making money because it'll make it better for everybody.
Yes. That's which is we have that things like win-win. We
Yeah.
need to think about it. You need to think about it.
Yeah.
So we need to think each other.
Yeah.
That way, the business, relationship, everything going good.
Yeah.
Right. So if you think it's like only yourself, nothing is work.
Nothing's
Even
good.
husband, wife, business, anything.
Very true. It's true. He's a big family man. You have two boys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. And I have a 14-year-old. So there you go. All right. Well, we'll head back up. So go ahead. Are you sure? Okay. We'll head back upstairs and thanks, Hoosain.
Yeah.
He's just shutting the lights off. All right, we'll get back to the group here. Oh yeah, he's just grabbing the lights. Yay, there we go. Yeah, good, I think. Yeah.
All right.
So,
Oh, we gotta open. So we had there's so many fun things happening with the Christmas season and everything, but we actually had one of our staff members from North Battleford. I don't even know if he came in or what happened, but
Yeah, he was needing some supplies, and he said, you know,
I dropped this in my office and said, it's on here. And it says, Alisa and Rochelle saw this and needed to get it. Sorry for the wrap.
yeah, it looks like a plumber wrapped it.
from Steve Battleford.
So good. So we decided to wait to open it so we can do it live on the Epic Hour here.
So we'll see what we got. Yeah. And this is a very big motto.
Awesome. I love it.
Do epic shit.
What do you think of that? So good. That is so great.
We love this. Oh, yeah.
We've had a few people think of us when they see this phrase, and we are so blessed that people think of us when they see this.
Yeah, that is so sweet. So thank you for the gift. That is awesome. And then we're just going to talk about next week's Epic Hour.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on, mark your calendars, guys, Wednesday, December 23rd at
9 a.m. Sassy time, 9 p.m. Pacific, and 12 p.m.
Eastern.
So we're not going to tell you what the topic is, but it's going to be an episode you do not want to miss. Yeah, so we want to wind up this year. We have still 2 more episodes this year, but this one is a fun way that we wanted to be able to share some exciting news with you guys.
Yes.
So,
I'd
yeah.
like to do the last thing.
Okay, so we got 2 minutes. You got to be
So,
quick.
yeah. So the last things is here. If someone like to invest with E.P.I.C, no hesitation, do it, please. And
We did not pay him to say
but
that.
another thing is like whatever I tell in here, everything is real, and I tell real fact in here. So there is nothing they teased me or they told me before. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So that's the real. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being with us. Hope you guys all enjoyed it, and we will catch you next week. And in the meantime, stay epic.
Bye.